You said I can't hear you if you're talking. Huh? Are, are you talking? I can't hear you if you're talking.
What about now?
Now I can.
All right, YouTube, technical difficulties. Welcome back to another episode. Um, what we're gonna talk about today?
Mika was talking about that video yesterday.
Where's she at?
Mm. You hear them crickets?
Mm-hmm.
Oh Lord, that means I'm gonna have to move.
There go Kia.
Onyx,
Oh,
go get in
we'll
your bed. Go get in your bed.
we'll just start it
Go
without her, I guess.
with Mika. Come on, go get in your bed. Go,
Up to
go, go, go,
speed.
go, go. Cut on this light. Get away from the crickets. Cricket noise. They start about the time of the call too.
Right on time.
And I guess that's when the sun start going down and they thinking it's night. Oh, goodness.
Mm, 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 mm.
Huh?
All right.
You said for me yawning?
Uh,
What?
so do we have like a walk to go to with for Sandra?
Mm-mm, not yet.
No. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, not yet. I know it's coming up in October. I know there's a few walks in October coming up because that's the awareness month.
Yeah.
But I'll let y'all know. Yeah, I'll let y'all know.
Mm.
Yeah. We just got to make sure we get checked out.
Yeah.
And then we may have to do an episode on that just for awareness.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. All right, y'all can see the screen?
Yep.
Hmm.
3 men arrived in Englewood from Brevard County, clear on the other side of the state, to pick up Giovanni and take him with them back to Brevard. During a news conference on Tuesday, Manatee County Sheriff Rick Wells made a clarification. This is important. While one of the men, identified as Latrell, was Giovanni's paternal cousin, the other 2 men were not. They were identified as Zach and Jalen. They are believed to be Latrell's friends. Wanted to clear that up. Now, not long after Giovanni left that night, his mom and other family members say they got some very disturbing text messages, but they didn't see them because they were asleep. When Bridget woke up, she realized that Giovanni was missing, and the last text that he had apparently sent her, his mom, just said, "Mom, help." He'd last been seen on the side of I-75 at State Road 70 in Manatee County. This is where Giovanni's cousin apparently said the teen took off into the night. Sheriff Wells recognized how much this ensuing week-long search impacted the family and made that clear during his news conference.
I do want to say that our prayers continue to go out to Bridget, the mother.
Look, during this press conference, I want to know everything. Y'all better tell me everything.
They're not, because first of all, I think that now they saying only one of the relatives was in the car. The other 2 people weren't even related.
Hmm.
So you had true strangers in the car that has never met this boy, and nor were they in the family group text either. So they were complete strangers.
Mm-mm-mm.
Mother Giovanni and the entire family as they struggled during this very difficult time, and we pray that blessings are bestowed upon them, and we're here to hopefully give them some information that will give them closure at some point.
Now, the sheriff provided a much firmer timeline of what allegedly happened not long after Giovanni apparently left with his cousin. Take a listen.
I think it's important to go back and start from the beginning. So on Thursday, July 31st, there's communications between Giovanni and his cousin, Latrell Hearn, about Latrell picking up Giovanni, who's in Charlotte County, and taking him back to Brevard County, where Latrell lives. They're trying to figure out the details. At 5:41 p.m., Latrell texts that he's going to have to use his grandmother's car, which is a white Malibu. At 8:30, they're still texting each other. He texts about smoking weed. Giovanni says, "I haven't had a smoke in a while because of court stuff going on in North Carolina." And he goes on to say, "I definitely need a smoke." At 10:08 p.m., Latrell, Jalen Washington, and Zachary Cummings start heading toward Charlotte County. Zach Cummings is the driver of the white Malibu at the time. During interviews, Latrell tells detectives that not long into the drive, they start smoking weed in the car, and Giovanni starts tripping. They stop the car at an unknown location along River Road before they got to I-75 because Giovanni needed to use the bathroom. Latrell says that Giovanni is acting out and raging before getting back into the car. They continue driving north on I-75, and at this point, they're about 26 miles away south of State Road 70. At 1:55 a.m., Giovanni sends his mother a text saying help. At 1:56 a.m., he sends another message that says help, followed by me. Jalen says Giovanni was tripping, telling them I am a demon and I will wreck this car, and says he will kill them all as he tries to open up the door while the car is still moving. This happens while they're in Manatee County, close to State Road 70. Zachary, the driver, pulls the car over onto the side of the road on the shoulder, the northbound I-75 on the east shoulder of State Road 70. Jalen and Zach are in the front seats, and they hear that Giovanni has a knife. And we know that he always carried a knife. He had 2 knives. He had a folding pocket knife, and he had a blade, but this knife was still in the sheath. He never took it out.
So Giovanni is allegedly, supposedly starting to panic in the backseat of this car, this Malibu, possibly a reaction to the marijuana that he ingested, and could be something else. Police are still trying to work out the exact details on that. By the way, they're still awaiting toxicology results. But Zach, Jalen, and Latrell, they claim...
Still waiting. Why are we still waiting for results?
Because it shouldn't take that long to come back.
Right, this sound fishy.
Because when they stop people, they put them little drops in the baggie and then find out if it turn a color, it's fentanyl, and then turn another color.
Look, if I could go to the Dollar General and give me a 10-panel drug test and then tell me in 3 minutes, why is it taking y'all so long for a toxicology report?
Yeah.
Before y'all get us in the comments,
and they
we understand it's a procedure. It takes a while, but it shouldn't take this long.
I mean, but on the top, when people get stopped, they have that kit where they can test for cocaine and other stuff too, because it turned a color. We saw that
Right.
on one of the videos where they stopped that woman speeding in that neighborhood, and he was like, "Oh, we tested positive for cocaine. She had them baggies in her purse." So I don't know. Maybe waiting. Maybe they done a couple of different tests and they're waiting for all the results to come in before they put something out. But it shouldn't take that long. It's not like they waiting on the autopsy report. They're just testing the toxicology of it to test for drugs.
Mm-hmm.
They could have probably took a strand of his hair to also test too. It shouldn't take that long. Yeah. That's terrible.
Giovanni basically freaks out and then starts running into traffic.
They say that Giovanni gets out of the car and begins running southbound in the southbound lanes of I-75. They see him in the middle of the northbound lanes and almost get hit by a truck. This is the last time they see him. He left behind his backpack and cell phone, so they took that and placed it onto the side of State Road or I-75 at State Road 70 at the entrance ramp on the east side. At 2:26 a.m., the trail calls his grandfather.
They just left his stuff on the side of the road?
Yep.
That's what he said, huh?
That's crazy.
That's how family do you.
So they just like, you, we ain't even coming looking for you. We ain't following you. Even though you acting supposedly crazy, we gonna still follow you to make sure you okay. We ain't just gonna toss your stuff out the car, which they did, and set it on the highway. That's crazy.
That Giovanni got out of the car. At 2:27, Latrell calls Bridget, Giovanni's mother, but there's no answer. We know that they continue northbound on I-75. We have them stopping at the Flying J truck stop in Hillsborough County off the I-4, and you can tell by their phones that they eventually make it home to Brevard County.
I know, just a wild story, but this is one that we wanted to cover. This is one we want to stay on top of. And the reason we can do that, the reason we can really do a deep dive into stories like this is because of the amazing support we get from our sponsor, Morgan & Morgan. This is America's largest injury law. Now, the second Tuesday that the cousin had a duty of care to Giovanni and that he shouldn't have abandoned him. Now, the second time that Latrell calls Bridget, this is hours later, according to the sheriff's office, she picks up.
At approximately 6:50 a.m., Latrell calls Bridget again. She answers, and he gives her the information on what transpired that night. At 7:13, Bridget calls the Manatee County Sheriff's Office to look for Giovanni on I-75. She says, from the 911 call that we collected, I received some missed calls from my son this morning. He was being picked up by a relative, and I was told that they left him on the side of the highway, that it was some type of an altercation and a knife was involved. She asked if a deputy could do a wellness check and make sure that he's okay.
And Bridget gives the information she has so far to a 911 dispatcher.
She states, so I'm getting this from people who were there. He said they were in the car, and I guess they had given my son some weed, and my son doesn't normally do any drugs. I guess they had given him some weed, and then he started to freak out and said he wanted to get out of the car. And they were like, hey, just calm down, thinking maybe it was the drugs he was taking. They kept saying, calm down, and everything will be okay. And then I guess he got out of the car to go to the bathroom, and that's when I received the text saying, Mom, help, in that time frame, she said. And then he said that he continued to freak out and didn't know what was going on. They left him behind on I-75. Bridget is heading northbound on I-75 to try to locate her son. A deputy responds to that area, but finds no pedestrian on the interstate.
Okay, and so around this time,
Okay, so that explains why they couldn't find him. One, sound like they went to a different area. Two, they just looked on the interstate.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
is when Giovanni's
Not on
backpack with his cell phone inside is
no pond or what the bodies of water.
Mm-hmm.
found. But I'll tell you what, it was the act of a good Samaritan that actually sent Bridget, again, Giovanni's mother, on a bit of a wild goose chase. Take a listen.
At 7:21, a truck driver who was checking the load on his truck, it's a sod truck, pulls off in that same area on the east side of I-75, northbound, sees the backpack, picks it up. He travels to Tampa with the backpack. Bridget sees that the phone is moving, but does not know that it's a truck driver that actually has the bag and has the phone. She eventually calls Tampa PD, and an officer responds to the area where the truck driver was doing some work, recovers the cell phone and the bag.
Now remember, all of this information is being relayed from one jurisdiction to another, so there's a lot of agencies being involved in this. Luttrell had traveled from Brevard County to Charlotte County to pick Giovanni up, then allegedly left him on the side of the road in Manatee County. So there was a lot of coordination that had to happen. And according to law enforcement, Zach, Jalen, and Luttrell, they were all cooperative during the course of this investigation so far.
At 928, Charlotte County Sheriff's Office opened a missing person case. And we also learned that Charlotte County reached out to Brevard County Sheriff's Office, and they were instrumental in interviewing all the passengers in the vehicle and as this investigation unfolded. They voluntarily give Brevard County the vehicle, the white Malibu that they were in. Brevard County processes the vehicle and finds no foul play, no blood, nothing, no evidence whatsoever inside that vehicle. Charlotte County reaches out to us once again to check to see if Giovanni had been admitted to any hospitals or possibly was arrested. And there was no sign of Giovanni in our system. On Monday, August 4th, Charlotte County requests the assistance of the Manatee County Sheriff's Office as they search the area that the trail says they dropped off Giovanni on I-75. They do an extensive search east of the interstate in wooded areas on both sides of State Road 70 and find nothing. On Tuesday, August 5th, Charlotte County comes back to Manatee County along with a volunteer team that have good cadaver dogs. Also, the Charlotte County Aviation Unit was flying overhead. We had 3 of our detectives assisting them with searching the areas that they wanted to search that day. After about 4.5 hours, they told our detectives that they're not really sure that Giovanni is in this area. Now, why is that important? We know that he got out of the car on River Road before he got onto I-75. So as investigators, they're starting to think maybe he never made it to State Road 70. Now, I can't speak for the Charlotte County detectives. I can't speak for Sheriff Permel, but they know the backpack was there, but there's no sighting of Giovanni in that area at this time.
And something else to point out here, during this very, very critical period, it's not just deputies, it's canine handlers, it's drone operators, it's helicopter pilots. They're all looking for this 18-year-old. They're all looking for Giovanni. And his family had launched search parties as well, spreading out across the state to cover every possibility. But unfortunately, and a sad turn of events, and something that we mentioned on a previous sidebar, Giovanni's body would be found back where it all started, on the side of I-75 in a retention pond.
So y'all had everybody looking.
I don't understand why they didn't. Even though the truck driver had the backpack and it may have been tracking the phone from there, but I'm like, why not go back to the last area where they seen them and do a search in your jurisdiction? That is ridiculous. And then the family go and they just stumble up on them.
Mm-hmm.
That don't make sense.
On Friday, August 8th, about 3:15 p.m.,
that don't make sense.
Manatee County Sheriff's Office receives a call about a body located in a pond right off of I-75 at the exit ramp to State Road 70. We learned that a friend of the family had been searching the area and had located the body. I sent my entire homicide team out there along with their sergeant, lieutenant, captain, and major to process the scene. The medical examiner investigator also responds to help with the processing of the body.
According to the Manatee County Sheriff's Office, it is believed that Giovanni's body had only recently floated to the top of the water, so that's why searchers hadn't seen him at first glance. But not long after, the remains.
Searchers. What about dogs?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then why not have them come back to the scene and say, okay, what direction did he run in? You had stuff in the car from his scent, I'm sure. So you could have, like you said, had the dogs and all of that. That's crazy. I don't understand this at all.
Because now y'all got me believing that the stuff we seen in movies, these canine dogs, what y'all be using them for?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Y'all had cadaver dogs out there. Y'all didn't get no scent off a beagle?
No.
But then my thing is, how can a friend of the family just go to that area and search in that? And I get it, they saying he probably didn't float up, but I'm like, that is just crazy. Because I'm like, if they would have had the dogs go after him, they probably would have stopped right there at the pond. And they would have lost the track of the
thinking, don't like in some cases, like if they have like an idea or something, don't they send divers in?
Yeah.
Yep.
Just to search?
Yeah.
I get that's probably too early and whatever, but dang, like Hey, there's a body of water right
Yeah.
here. This is where he was last seen. Now we're gonna
Yeah.
go into the
Yep,
woods.
take a
Probably
dive.
in the clubhouse somewhere.
No, that don't make no sense.
Mm-mm. I don't understand this at all.
Because listen, they said they checked. Is this the same high he was talking about? He said they checked both east and west in the woods.
Hmm. And then
So he didn't mention
they
no
got a
pond.
hold of that truck driver. Mm-mm.
So he was somewhere near the pond, and his backpack ended up somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
I'm launching a radius around where his backpack was found.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they didn't.
That would be
Well,
the
they did.
logical thing to
They
do.
just checked the immediate wooded areas, and the
That's
dogs didn't pick
crazy.
up on no scent. Mm.
Were found, despite authorities not
Yeah, that
officially
don't make no
saying it was
sense. I don't
Giovanni.
understand
They
this at
did
all.
release information saying there didn't appear to be any bodily injuries.
We do a deep X-ray, a scan of the body. The ME does that night. There's no signs of any trauma to the body. There's no indication that he was shot. There's no indication that he was stabbed. There's nothing at that time that helps us determine cause of death. On Saturday, August 9th, detectives and crime scene techs go back out to the scene. They conduct another thorough investigation of the area, search of the area. Our drone unit also flew over the pond and the surrounding area, but didn't find anything of any value. On Sunday, the District 12 medical examiner performed an autopsy of the body. Preliminary indication was no signs of trauma or foul play, but the cause of death is still undetermined.
So what do we have? Giovanni's remains, they were finally identified using dental records, and deputies interviewed the men who'd been inside the Chevy Malibu that night, and sheriffs in at least 2 different counties said the Brevard County family has been helpful and responsive to the investigation.
My detectives reach out.
I'm just so like, wait, I just can't wrap my head around this. So you mean to tell me he's gone in less than a week, okay? Somehow unalive. And y'all have to use dental records to identify him?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
It's that pond water and what of the little what you call them, the little not bugs and
yeah,
stuff that
I know
probably feed
I
off of
know that, but you mean to tell me there was no other way to ID him? Like no features,
he was
no
badly
nothing?
decomposed, supposedly badly decomposed.
But in that short amount of time, that's crazy.
Mhm. Yep,
Now we're gonna have to look
yep.
up how long it take, because now we're gonna have to piece up the timeline. When did he go with his family, his cousins? When was he found? How long does it take for a body to come up to the surface? That's the
Hmm.
question. So, what do you think? 24, 48 hours? He was missing for how many days?
He was missing for a few days, wasn't he?
Mm.
I don't know how many
Brevard County,
days he
who
was
helped us
missing.
reach out to Giovanni's cousin, Jalen, Latrell, and Zach, and we request that they interview again with us. They do so freely. We respond to Brevard County, and we interview the 3. They give us the exact same story that they gave Brevard County. They also agreed to come back to Manatee County to help us pinpoint exactly where they pulled off the side of the road and where Giovanni got out of the car.
And I will tell you, in a groundbreaking development, according to Sheriff Rick Wells, deputies were able to pinpoint Giovanni's location on traffic cameras. Although the picture is grainy and unfocused, Sheriff Wells says Giovanni can be seen in traffic, at one point even almost getting hit by a truck.
Point him out right here. He's coming eastbound, now he's walking back, westbound. And there's a concrete barrier right here, and down here is where the pond is. So then we continue to check cameras, and we get lucky at a Lowe's, which is located on the west side of State Road 70. We have a camera that's pointing at the embankment now that he comes down at 2:19 a.m. Play that, Ben. And I want you to stay focused right here. I want you to stay focused right here.
One. First of all, where the fuck is the date?
It says 2:19:05 a.m. My thing is, when did they get
No, no,
this
no, no, no,
footage?
no, no, no. Security cam footage has its own little thing where it keeps the timestamp and the
And the
date.
day.
Where is the date, first of all? Second of all, y'all just happen to catch footage of whatever we think this is y'all want us to believe?
And then my thing, why did he go missing for so many days? And now they got the footage showing him running. They didn't go think to go get this so-called footage days earlier.
Right.
None of this makes sense to me. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it at all.
I'm so like, they gonna really make me mad. We are supposed to believe that whatever he's pointing at, somewhere there's a pond. We
Yep.
can't see it. For all we know, it's just a fucking hill.
But how do we not know that if he's going to be coming into this frame running, how do we not know he's not running from the people he was in a car with? Because he was scared, or he was thinking they were going to do something to him. How do we not know he's running for a reason other than supposedly getting laced with something as far as his drugs? They could have threatened him in the car or whatever the case may be, and he like, let me out, or whatever, and he get out and just take off running and don't know his surroundings, and he could have just probably stumbled, fell head first or whatever in that little pond, if it is a pond, but we don't know the reason why he's truly running. Now that test come back that it ain't no drugs and stuff involved, he wasn't laced with nothing, then that's going to be another issue, because as far as his family, mom them was saying he don't act out of character, so why would he be deranged and running just for the hell of it?
I just have a whole problem without seeing the date and timestamp other than what they put on their own screen of Lowe's security
Low
footage that they
security.
seized as evidence. Anytime we see a body cam, we can see it.
Yeah.
But whatever, let's hit play.
Here. Now that's a steep embankment. It's coming down there almost like an uncontrollable sprint. If you ever gone down a hill, you know.
Time out, time out, time out.
I like the fact that they're like putting it on him. I don't know.
We need to rewind a little bit, okay? We're forgetting some crucial information. What was he wearing when he was reported missing?
I don't think nobody ever said that.
So to me, it
Is that
looks
a
like
white
some kind
shirt?
of like a white shirt, a white hoodie, and black jeans. Did they ever put out a missing persons report and what he was wearing last?
I don't think so. We'll have to follow up and see.
And then, like, the only logical answer is that he drowned.
Yeah.
But can they not see drowning on an autopsy?
Yeah.
Yeah, they can.
They should have just came out and said that right off the bat. Like, we found water, and I mean, obviously you're gonna find water in them, but however they classify somebody as a drowning
Or they could
victim.
have just came out and said the initial finding appears to be unaliving by drowning, whatever the term
They
they
should have
for
said accidental drowning. That's what they should have said.
right, whatever the term is for filling up the lungs, and then further texting is being conducted for like toxicology to determine if anything was in his system. Because that's
okay,
not going to determine his death. Unaliving the toxicology report. It's just going to prove whether or not he got something in his system or not.
even if he fell and hit his head, that counts as trauma, and there was no trauma.
Mm-hmm.
So what, like,
And then my thing is, if you're running that fast, and people do run fast and they lose their footing and they fall face down. If you in some water, for him not to probably get startled and react and jump back up, then he had to hit his head hard to where he blacked out or something. You ain't just gonna fall in the water and just lay later.
All right.
You're gonna react and try to get up or whatever. So that's confusing to me too. So he had to hit his head on something.
Mm-hmm.
Because you ain't just gonna instantly go in the water and just lay there and not fight the drowning. Your initial reaction is to fight the water.
okay, listen. Is this the pond?
Let me see. Yeah, it says a descendant. I think so. Because ain't that wall Lowe's across?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's Lowe's, and that's where they say they found him, whatever. Okay,
And then
cool.
how deep is this pond? For him to just drown instantly
And then wait a minute. Y'all just showed us
without getting.
they they showed us cameras from like a highway bridge or whatever. You mean to tell me y'all ain't got, I know y'all got poles with lights out there, and every so one of them got cameras. Y'all got cameras on highways nowadays. This is the
Yeah,
only
this is
two
crazy.
pieces of footage we have. Some traffic
That's
light that you
crazy.
found somewhere
If that
that isn't
was
on
me,
frame.
yeah, if that was me, a family member of ours, I'd be like, we need to hire our own independent investigator
Mm-hmm.
because and do my own independent autopsy and my own independent toxicology report. And I'm like, if they don't have the money, put up a GoFundMe. Everybody put up GoFundMes for every damn thing else. They'll get the funds to do that.
And on
Yeah,
focus,
that's
Sheriff Wells
crazy. I
says
don't understand.
Giovanni can be seen in traffic at one point, even almost getting hit by a truck.
Point him out right here. He's coming eastbound, now he's walking back, westbound. And there's a concrete barrier right here. And down here is where the pond is. So then we continue to check cameras. And we get lucky
Is it
at a
just
Lowe's,
me? I don't like him.
which is located on the west side of State Road 70. We have a camera that's pointing at the embankment now that he comes down at 2:19 a.m. Play that, Ben. I want you to stay focused right here.
Oh, what? Hold on.
Lowe's. So then we continue to check cameras. Barrier right here.
Where is the time?
There's no time. There's nothing. No date.
How do
No
we know this
nothing.
is 2 o'clock
Is
in
it
the
a date?
fucking morning? It look a little bright to me, don't it?
I don't. I told you from the get go. I'm confused.
It
That's
look
why
a
they need to
little
hire their own
too
independent
bright
people.
all around for it to be 2:19 for him to for that. You can't listen. You get on the highway right now, you ain't gonna see a white figure from this far away.
Down here is where the pond is.
Oh.
This look like light. They're gonna say it's the street lights. It's not street lights.
So then we continue to check cameras. And we
They're
get
gonna say
lucky
it's the street lights
at
and
a
the
Lowe's,
car lights.
which is located on the west side of State Road 70. We have a camera that's pointing at the embankment now that he comes down at 2:19 a.m. Play that, Ben. I want you to stay focused right here.
This is night. This looks like nighttime, does it not?
Mm-hmm.
Now that's a steep embankment.
Now look how fast he running.
And then I'm trying to figure out, dang, we got cameras that run 24/7 no matter what.
He's coming down
And
there.
how much water is in an embankment?
Like, do you know how? Shout out to whoever, if this is real, shout out to whoever scoured through hours and hours of footage to only catch a glimpse of a white shirt.
Now that's a steep embankment. He's coming down there almost like an uncontrollable sprint. If you've ever gone down a hill, you know what I'm talking about. But the pond is right here at the edge of that embankment. I mean, the important thing that I want you to see, there's no one chasing him. There's no one around him. In fact, when he's coming down that embankment, the vehicle is 2 miles away. So there's no.
What if they stopped before they got to the cameras? Like, what if they chased him
That's why
on
I
foot?
say that we don't know why he was
No,
running. The
no,
car could have
because
been chasing.
look, if that was the case, they would have showed him crossing the highway, or them.
But what happened before he crossed the highway, though?
I don't know, but I'm
At what
stumped.
point did he start
I
running?
can't figure. Ooh, I can't sustain it. What happened?
At what point did he start running? They just gonna pick up from him darting across the way from Lowe's, but I mean, I think he was running for a reason. I honestly don't think it was drugs. If it was drugs, it was late, so he probably did have a reaction to that. If he wasn't somebody
okay, if it comes back laced, they need to go back and do how they do the drug dealers for when people overdose.
Yes. Yep, I agree. Who gave him the drugs is responsible. Yep, and neglect and all of that. Yep.
So now we really got to wait on the toxicology report.
But if I was the family, y'all need to go do your own independent. Whoever he is, I for whatever reason, I don't even like him.
This area with Giovanni.
I just don't. I don't even like the way he's talking when it comes to.
And what we don't know is what happened when he hit that pond. I don't know. I'm not going to speculate. The death is undetermined. So we know that we don't have anyone that comes down that embankment after him. They don't look for him. He's there, we believe, until he was located by the family friend on Friday, the 8th. We really don't know what happened once he got to the pond. And once again, anything that I say would be pure speculation. We're still waiting for the ME to determine the cause of death, and we're also still waiting for the toxicology.
Make sure y'all like, comment.
I don't like him.
Let us know what y'all think in the comments about this case. Rest in peace and condolences to that young man and his family. Prayers up to them.
Yeah.
What do y'all think happened? Was it foul play or was it just pure? I don't know. I can't even know. Can you call it an accident? I don't know. Yeah, let us know what y'all think. One family,